Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this fourth installment of a little series that I'm calling the Cult Leaders Toolbox, where we explore different tactics that cults use to captivate their followers and, in many cases, to hold them captive. So, today's episode is episode 4, and it's named The Love Bomb. And I'm sure many of you have heard that term before, love bombing. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. You get bombed with love. But we're going to, dig a little deep in the next 8-10 minutes or so. And love bombing is a tactic that is very widely used by cults. And usually in the beginning, it's one of the first things that is employed, and it means basically giving someone flattery, attention, affirmation, making them feel special, making them feel good inside and wanted and needed, which are all things that humans do need. We are social beings. We need affection. We need to know someone cares about us, and it's something that many have searched for and have unfortunately found in communities that turn out to be cults and high control groups, and dangerous places to go down a rabbit hole. So we want to avoid that, right? So we want to look for some warning signs, and also kind of know what tactics are out there. So yes, so cults do use a lot of tactics in the beginning to make you feel special and wanted, flattery, and giving you all kinds of compliments and even physical touch, hugging, holding hands, patting you on the back. I mean, who doesn't like to be patted on the back once in a while? But there are ulterior motives to it, and unfortunately, many don't see those red flags until they're kind of deeply in. So again, we want to avoid that. So if you've um, tuned into any of the other episodes here, you probably know the drill. It is story time here at Coffee, Cults, and Crafts. And I want to tell you a little story today. And the story is about a guy named Jaime. And no kidding, his birth name was Jaime Gomez. He was born in Venezuela to a wealthy rancher. We're not sure the exact year. There's not a whole lot of information out there on Jaime Gomez's early years, but he did later on in his 20s. He emigrated to the United States and landed in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and was an aspiring actor. So in the late 60s, he was an extra in the movie Rosemary's Baby, and with a non-speaking part. And he was very involved in dance and ballet and theater, in adult films for a little stint. And he got really into, in the 70s and early 80s, got really into yoga, meditation, and hypnosis. And as a failed actor, he was looking for his next gig. So in the 1980s in California, he started to recruit young, beautiful people who were unattached and kind of looking for the meaning of life. And he love bombed them with lots of flattery, with his very charismatic personality. He paraded around in a Speedo and eyeliner. Was pretty much all he wore. It was a Speedo and eyeliner. And he was very physically fit. He encouraged everyone to kind of move into this whole commune situation. And there is a documentary called Holy Hell that basically chronicles this whole cult. It's called Buddha Field. So I'm sure many of you have already figured that out. And Jaime changed his name to Michelle Rostand, and later on was known as Andreas. And, he was kind of running and changing his name a lot, which is pretty typical. And he basically recruited anywhere from 120 to 200 young people. And again, they were all just very beautiful people, very happy people. He kind of drew them in with the promise of love and affirmation, of spiritual enlightenment and fulfillment. And in the beginning, they really found that they loved it. They there was clips of them just kind of swimming and having a great time. And they would do service, which they called it, which turned into pretty much heavy labor on top of their regular outside jobs. And they would put all their money into what later ended up being a commune. And as the frog boiled slowly, it started to go off the rails, but because of the misuse of hypnotherapy and meditation, of the peer pressure, and just uh, the emptying of the mind, which was basically it was called, was that they were encouraged to not have their own identity, not have their own thoughts, not question, and they would just basically turn their mind over to Michelle. And later on, Michelle ended up being completely, I guess you would just call it, he was caught red-handed with a lot of bad things that he did. And you can watch the documentary. And also, uh, I'd like to announce, if you haven't seen already, there is or will be, if you're just seeing this when I'm downloading it, there will be a live discussion and broadcast with Clearwater Chad and our very special guest, Kelly Copter. And it will be on a live stream discussion about Buddha Field. And Kelly is very familiar with this cult. She has an amazing channel with a series called the ABC of Cults, and B was Buddha Field. So I hope you all tune into that. And thank you so much for joining me today. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.